Namaste. My name is Prakash Chitre. I am an independent researcher and the author of the book Our Intellectual Heritage. Drawing from one of the chapters of the book, I have prepared a set of 8 videos, Archaeological Evidence of Ancient Indian Knowledge. I would like to mention it here that the archaeological evidence of such knowledge is one of the 12 distinct groups of evidence I was able to identify and classify uh, in my research. I have discussed all of them in considerable detail in various chapters of my book. In case you'd like to have a brief look at a quick rundown of what those 12 groups are, please refer to my interview by the Center for Indic Studies of the Indus University of Ahmedabad. I have given the link in the comment section, sorry, description. But first, an acknowledgement. Precision of standardized weights and measures, mathematics, and the decimal system. Highly standardized graded weights, common over the entire region with minimal fluctuations, 6%, which may have been caused by erosion over thousands of years. By fluctuation, they mean difference in weight they must have found from different parts of the region. And according to the scientists, this could have been caused by erosion over thousands of years. The weights also seem to progress following a fixed ratio from the minimum value. The base is 0.89 grams as the lowest weight, less than 1 gram. There were two series of binary and decimal weights. The smaller one is a geometric ratio, 1 weighing 0.89 grams, 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, and 64. This sequence of weights, as you must have noticed, is a perfect mathematical progression. Where one was, of course, it weighed 0.89, two refers to 1.78 grams. As the units were so small, the smallest weighing 0.89 grams, it follows that they must have devised a very sensitive weighing system, a scale or whatever else it may have been, which was sensitive enough to differentiate between 0.89 grams and 1.78 grams. That stands to reason. They wouldn't have these weights if they didn't know how to differentiate between any two of them. The other one is in decimal multiples of some of the smaller ones like 160, 200, 320, 640, 1600, and so on. The highest one being 12,800, which works out to 11.392 grams, kilograms, good for grains, etc. The invention of the decimal system by India is far older than is commonly known. Another important point to note here is that there was such a wide range of weights here. The lowest was 0.89 grams, whereas the highest was 11,392 grams. All meant for different kinds of products or goods or commodities. But it shows what must have been the range of products they dealt in, they traded in, probably also manufactured and traded in. Some of these weights are kept in the National Museum in Delhi. Those of you who have an opportunity must go and see them. Awareness of nutritional benefits of multigrain laddus or food. Binjor has been dated to more than 4,600 years old. It is very close to our border with Pakistan. 7 intact laddus were discovered at this site. A stone slab had fallen over them in such a way that it formed a roof, and so that they were protected and thus were not crushed. Really fortunate. Had they been crushed and got crushed, they would have mixed with the dust, and we would never have known something so very important. These were examined, dated, and analyzed by scientists at Birbal Sahani Institute of Paleosciences and National Botanical Research Institute. These were found to have been a mixture of wheat, barley, chickpea, and several oilseeds, and were dated at 4600 BP. Though a single such find cannot be generalized, it is at least suggestive of the awareness on their part of the nutritional benefits of multigrain food, which tallies with the ancient Ayurvedic recommendation of simultaneous use of Navadhanya. Now, that importance continues till today. Antiquity of knowledge of the science of yoga. Uh, Terracotta figurines of various correct yogasanas have been found in numerous sites of the Saraswati Sindhu Civilization, showing their knowledge of the science of yoga so many thousand years ago. Now, also found were terracotta figurines of the Shivalingam, the sign of the swastik symbol, of course, our swastik and not the Haken Cruz of the Nazis, Pashupati seals, and several others, which showed not only the antiquity of the reverence of all these, but also of the continuity of civilization over several thousand years, and that continuity remains till today. Precision of weights of silver coins and thus of their values. Now, this is from in this slide. What we're going to discuss is from the post-Saraswati Sindhu civilization. The Saraswati Sindhu civilization era came to an end about 4,000 to 4,500 years ago, whereas the oldest Indian coins to be discovered so far are around 2,600 years old. Thousands of these coins were excavated at Takshashila. As you know, Takshashila is better known for its ancient university, which was founded in 2000, founded 2,800 years ago, and flourished till the 5th century CE. These are coins of silver and are punch marked. What is significant is that the shapes are neither geometrical nor identical. That is so because after being flattened, these coins also had to have very precise weights and therefore precise values. So what mattered in this case was not the shape, it was the weight that mattered. Now it was found that these weight units were more or less the Saraswati Sindhu values. Now this is strange, or rather amazing. Now this was an amazing discovery because there was a gap of over 1500 to 2000 years since the disintegration of the said civilization. It suggests continuation of the material culture. About 2,000 sites from the SEC have been discovered so far, many of which are being studied by archaeologists and other scientists from all angles. Following are some of the very well-known and very important ones. Of course, many others are also very important too, but they may not be as well-known as these. Western UP, Sanoli, that is in the Bagpat district of UP. All of you, I'm sure, know about the numerous horse-driven carts found in this site, and the scientists are planning to move one of those full intact carts. Sorry, chariots, horse-drawn chariots. I'm correcting myself. It's not a cart; it's a chariot. These are all chariots. One such horse-drawn chariot is going to be transported from the site to the National Museum. Of course, this is a very delicate operation and requires extreme care, so it is still work in progress. Haryana, Birana, oldest part has been dated to 9700 BP. Incidentally, Birana is the oldest township discovered anywhere in the world so far. Rakigadi is slightly less old, 8500 BP. By the way, at Rakigadi, they found a skeleton of a young woman, 35 years old woman. She has been dated to have lived 4,500 years ago. What is very significant is that they found a full DNA sequence in her bones. Not a part sequence, a full DNA sequence, which helped them to trace her ancestry. The haplogroup was worked out, and they found that she shares her ancestry with many of us in India, and that sharing goes back 12,000 years. Now, the scientists don't say that she represents the DNA of entire Rakigadi. No, all they're saying is that she shares her ancestry with a very large percentage of us Indians. Rajasthan, Kalibangan, Balathal, Binjore, Gujarat, Lothal, Dholavira, Surkotada. At Surkotada, they found the faunal remains of a horse, a domesticated horse. The remains were examined by a very well-known international archaeologist. He was requested by the Archaeological Survey of India to examine those bones and give his opinion. He came to the firm opinion that these bones, the jaw bones, belong to a horse and not a donkey, as some people would like to think. Um, and it was a domesticated horse. Now, he concluded that it was a domesticated horse because of some marks he found on the jaw, because it seems that a domesticated horse has the habit of chewing at the bridle. Now, because of this habit, it leaves a mark on the jaw, and that mark was found on these remains. Incidentally, um, uh, such horse bones have been found in various other parts of India, and Surkotada was one of them. And now in Pakistan, Mehergarh, Mohenjo-daro, Harappa, etc. You must have noticed in most of these cases, the end of these townships came more or less coincided with the gradual decline and eventual disappearance of the river Saraswati. And many scientists believe that the end of the river Saraswati was what caused the end of the civilization. Apparently, around that time, there was a drought which lasted for more than 200 years, and no such civilization can survive without water. So they dispersed to their east as well as west. Another important finding was that in three of these places, Rakhigadi, Kalibangan, and Banavali, they found terracotta toy carts. And one common thing about in all the toy carts was the wheels, the spoked wheels. They were markings for the spokes on those wheels, right? So the significance of the presence of spoked wheels in India so long ago lies somewhere else, which I have discussed in another some other chapter of my book. Now, this brings me to the end of my part 5. Thank you very much, viewers, for taking interest in watching this video and for your time and patience in doing so. I sincerely hope that you liked it. Please do write your comments, queries, so that I can respond at the earliest possible. In continuation, I shall upload part 6 in a day or two. Do look out for it. In parts 6, 7, and 8, I shall discuss the findings from various other parts of India, such as Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, uh, Karnatak, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, etc. And some very interesting findings have been things have been found there, and I look forward to your being with me when I discuss all the remaining parts too. Till then, namaste, goodbye, and thank you very much for being patient.